What's up, Michigan State fans? It's Jacob Katsunika here, back for another edition of the Michigan State Spartans Insider Podcast. A couple days out of the Spartans' recent loss to the USC Trojans on the road, 45-31. Right after that game, I might have been. I still kind of come out of this game with a bit. I don't. Optimism might not be the right word, but some very, very cautious optimism. There's certainly aspects of this game where Michigan State fell short. I kind of reaction to it right after the game. Um, you know, it was 3 a.m. Brain was a little fried. After further reflections, there's a couple of things I might have said right after the game that I don't know are necessarily true. I kind of said they just kind of I thought they played fine, but they just ran into a better team. Uh, that's true. I partially agree with now after kind of thinking about it, watching back some of the game. Um, but especially really, I think it's true for the offense. The offense scored 31 points in this ball game. A little bit of it in garbage time, where it was but still, you score 31 points, you should have a chance in the game. But Michigan State, I mean, USC was in control pretty much the whole way. MSU had a 7-3 lead after each team had the ball once, but then USC went right down, took the lead, and it was off to the races. From that point, it was 31-10 early on in the second half. It wasn't winning football at the end of the day. The offense kind of got going when it was down, when they were airing the ball out. That's kind of the main thing. But the main source of pessimism that Michigan State fans should have is on the defense. I talked about it a little bit in depth that the pass rush, for one, isn't getting there, but there's also a couple other issues that really showed up in that game. USC was a lot faster than them. The run, they got gashed in the run game a good couple of times, some long runs allowed. But offensively, I still think there is reason to have some hope here, and that's kind of what I want to talk about is the reasons the reasons for optimism that Michigan State has. But Aidan Chiles, for one, he played another great game. Wasn't his best game. I still think he played better against Boston College. I still think that Boston College game was probably his best game as a Michigan State Spartan. But the stats for Aidan in this game were still really, really good. Only 21 pass attempts. It didn't feel like he only threw 21 passes, really, for 212 yards. So he's averaging about 10 yards per pass attempt. 3 of them were for touchdowns, a QBR of 81.7, which is pretty solid. And I don't think he was really able to get the running going. Well, he got the running going a little bit, 35 yards and another touchdown. But again, this is another game where Aidan Chiles is proving that he can take care of the football, and he's able to get into the end zone, or at least throw a ball into the end zone. That's 4 touchdowns and no picks or fumbles or anything. Like, you ask that, if you say that to a Michigan State fan before the game, Aidan Chiles, 4 total touchdowns, no interceptions, you'd think Michigan State might have a real chance in this game, but they never really did. Amari Kelly was his best target, 6 catches, 133 yards, 1 touchdown. Again, kind of inflated a little bit because he had that 75-yarder with about 3 minutes left in the game when USC had kind of put the game away. But still, 133 yards in the Big Ten is 133 yards in the Big Ten. You're still going up against dudes who are trying their best to stop you when you throw that deep ball for 75 yards and a touchdown. It's still impressive. Nick Marsh wasn't too much of a factor in this game. I'm not gonna say Nick Marsh needs to be better. He was hurt. He had a very noticeable thing on his knee, so it's tough to ask Nick Marsh to go out there and provide you with 140 yards when he's clearly, given that he has an ailment on him as he's playing the game, for him to go out and be 100% for you. I know to some level you're playing, you should be producing, but no, that's not real life. Guys are hurt. It's going to be a little tougher for them to constantly get open against a USC defense that is pretty decent. They hadn't allowed more than 20 points in this game before this one, and I mean, they're being a little picky because they're a ranked team, but that's kind of the main complaint that they had, I saw from their fan base online, was the defense needs to be better. So, I mean, to some level, maybe they're right. But Michigan State's offense still 31 points. Pretty solid day at the office for them. I mean, it's a better points wise. It's technically better than what they did against Boston College. It was 27 points in regulation in that game. So the offense is taking steps forward. Mekhi Frazier. I mean, the run game could have been a lot better though. Only 3.5 yards per carry as a team. There were a couple plays. I believe it was Jakeem Stewart for USC. I think he's a true freshman as well, where I think he literally almost took the handoff out of Aidan Chiles' hand. He just blew through the offensive line. So, but offensive line probably wants to get more push, but it's a tough opponent. It's one of the best defensive lines in the Big Ten. They're probably not going to see many better units than USC's moving forward. But I still think the main source of optimism still has to be the continued consistent growth from Aidan Chiles. This is the third straight game where I think Aidan Chiles has played well. He was great in the Boston College game. He was good against Youngstown State, not as good, and he was good in this one. So we're starting to see him become consistent. He had those flashes last year where he played a great quarter or one great game. But now he's starting to just piece these things together where we are seeing the Aidan Chiles that everyone imagined when he transferred here from Oregon State. And, he comes here with 3 years of eligibility. He was a high 4-star recruit. He was one of the top quarterbacks in the transfer portal, even though, calling it more of a transfer portal type of thing when he's following the coach. But still, he was one of the top-ranked transfers in the country at the quarterback position, which obviously you need. And he is visibly better in year 2 as the starting quarterback for the Michigan State Spartans than he is in year 1. He's more accurate, he's making better decisions, and he's using his legs more. Those are the things. It's like the 3 things that people really wanted to see out of him. His talent was undeniable. It's like that Maryland game in week 2 of last year where he made some absolutely insane throws down the field to Nick Marsh and won them that game. But then you kind of saw the picks happen and the fumbles happen, and he kind of turned into just a regular old game manager, I think, in the second half of last season, where he's just kind of making safe throws but nothing explosive. But you're starting to see those throws downfield come back. He had the long one to Amari Kelly. Again, garbage time, you kind of have that little asterisk by it, but it's still difficult. And you're not seeing it come at the downside of him leaving the ball out when there's pressure and he's getting strip sacked, or he extends a play and then he throws one into double coverage for like a hair pulling out interception. He's sitting. Again, for the stats on the season for Chiles, he still only has 1 pick, and I don't think it was a bad pick. It was just kind of a flukish play where it got batted at the line, and it fell right into the hands of a Youngstown State defensive lineman. He hasn't had a play where it's an out route and he just reads the corner on, and it's one of those plays where he just has a terrible read. And just in general, I don't think there's many plays where you've seen. I don't think there's been a time where it's like, ooh, that one should have been picked, where a guy just drops it. Again, look stats right now. He has 9 passing touchdowns to 1 pick. This is through 4 games, and I think he had 13 passing touchdowns last year, 14, maybe to 11 interceptions. Like the improvement really can't be overstated that much. You'd like to maybe see more passing yards here and there, but Michigan State didn't pass the ball much in general. They didn't have the ball that much in general as well. I mean, it was a season low 21 passing attempts for him. But still, 212 yards with those limited opportunities. You got to kind of tip your cap. And if it's a close game, say when they're playing Minnesota on the road, when they're playing Iowa, maybe when they're playing Maryland, one of those tougher games, maybe against Michigan, he's a guy who I think you can feel comfortable with trying to lead one of these clutch drives. He already proved it against Boston College. He had a fantastic game. It went to overtime, and he led 2 touchdown drives in overtime, and he got that 2-point conversion, which was the difference in the game against the Eagles. Chiles is they got it now. To some level, I think they just kind of have it now. They have it down. He's a lot better. I'm kind of focusing now on Chiles as I go along here, because again, there's really nothing to be really optimistic about with the defense. I can only presume that Wayne Matthews is going to miss extended time because of that terrible injury. Brady Pretzlaff was out. I mean, Jordan Hall will be back for the next game, so that'll be great for the linebacking core and the defense in general. But you saw coverage wasn't great in that game, just guys getting downfield easily. Just all around, just not their day defensively at all. Playing a really good offense. Probably not going to see a better offense than that. Even like Penn State's offense isn't that good, I think. It's Lincoln Riley. To some level, you have to just kind of be like, you're going to run into a buzzsaw on one side of the offense, but still. 45 points allowed, not acceptable. It has to get fixed. And for the love of all that is holy, you need to sack a quarterback once in a while against a team with a pulse. And that didn't happen. So, Aidan Chiles is playing so much better now. And that is the main thing I think Michigan State fans can be optimistic about for the rest of the year. Nick Marshall get healthy, back and healthy probably over the bye week, barring a new announcement about something maybe he aggravated. And hopefully some members of the defense get a little bit healthier. Probably in particular Brady Pretzlaff will probably see more snaps, assuming Wayne Matthews is going to be down for a long time. But Chiles is a guy who's going to be able, I think, in close games. He can go and win one, which I don't think people had that high of a level of confidence last year. So again, we'll continue to provide daily coverage of these Michigan State Spartans. They're on a bye week right now, so there won't be any media availabilities or videos from the football team this week, barring any changes on that. But continue to keep checking in at SpartanNation.com. And I'm Jacob Katzanika. I'll see you guys around.